Hi, world. I just realized it got so quiet. Like, not a peep, which is unusual. Okay, well, Grandmama. Okay. But still, you know when there's like an unusual quiet, that it's so quiet, it actually catches your attention? Okay. Well, you know what? Grandma right now is saying that we should go to Kimmy K's animal spirit. Okay. Yeah, I'm loving this animal energy. Oh, I was just on Facebook. People were posting about their pets, but like a person just posted, she was so beautiful. She wrote her cat, Gryffindor, a poem. He passed away last night. But she like had a beautiful, it was a beautiful tribute, and then there was like a beautiful photo. Oh, I did just see Crow again. Crow energy is really strong. Okay, well, let's head back to Hawk. Okay, well, who's in my crowd? We know that you're bird people, but like Crow and Hawk really seem to love you. It's really quiet again. Okay, Grandma. Well, because you know in nature, like when, yeah, and I was actually just reading an article on it. It's not something totally new to me, but it's just like a reminder that like if you're in the forest and it suddenly goes quiet, it means that there's a predator around and that you have 7 minutes to flee the area. Okay, well, that's actually not what I was expecting. I don't get bad vibes, but I do feel like something's coming. 7 minutes? Oh, man, I wish someone would deliver me some lasagna right now in 7 minutes. Piping hot. Oh, okay, what do we got? Starfish and dragon. I heard dragon fruit. I do love dragons. And we were talking about Marishka. Star rules Aquarius, and I was saying Aquarius dragon. Oh my god, do we have an Aquarius dragon in the crowd? It's so peaceful. Like, guys, you've seen me. I've literally had to go into snowstorms and the cemetery to find a stitch of peace. And this street in particular is usually noisy as hell. I kind of love it, to be honest. It is peaceful. Okay, well, Grandmama, we have starfish to dragon. Hey, what's all this, like, peace about? Ooh, a snake. Well, we have a lot of, like, serpentine energy here, and even, like, the outside of the starfish. You know what I was also just looking at on Facebook? Obs. Wolves of Poland popped up as a photo, and then Facebook was like, are you interested? I was like, does a bear shit in the woods? Of course I'm interested. Like, sign me up. I just love the animals. Okay. Grandma, one more card. Turtle. Yeah, there's something here about this, like, tough shell, but also sensitive. Serpentine, like, old. Like, turtles are old as fuck. Snakes are old as fuck. Dragons. The old starfish. Okay. Well, I kind of want the other Kimikes, too. Okay, well, let's call them those crowd favorites. God, Jesus, Grandma, Buddha, Archangels, all Ascended Masters, all of my benevolent ancestors, and anyone that you work and pray with, other than Debbie Devil. Also, I was sitting here, and I was thinking about who to call in specifically. And we had, well, I don't know. This feels like very different energy. Okay, let's follow this energy. Okay. Oh, the Queen. Hey, with the snake. Okay, well, we've got some mother energy. Like, Queen, let's put you up there. The Maiden. Yeah, beep, beep. Okay. The guy feels weird here. Should I put him, are we doing 5? If I put that in the middle, because it does feel like it's got the dragon snake energy in the same colorings, because it's got more black and white. Oh my god, it actually just looks like this guy. Like, you see? Yeah, because the other 2 cards are so colorful, but this guy's kind of a little blasé, if you ask me. But when I look at it, yeah, so it feels like that wants to sit underneath. Old draggy dragon. And I wanted to say Shelly Snake. Do we have someone here named Shelly? Now, the nectar wanted to come out. What's this? And the storm. Spirit team. Again, it's not that I don't love doing love readings, guys. It's not that. I mean, I do enjoy the other readings a bit more, but I just thought I had such a clear talk with my spirit team about this, where I was like, you know what, I don't have it quite figured out, but maybe if we could remove LOVE, but, I mean, damn, like, look at this. Just look at this business. Like, nectar? I don't know why I said it like that, nectar. But, like, we've got blooming. Yeah, there's these, like, passionate, like, but sensual. And then with storm. But then we have the stone. And to be honest, I'm now thinking of another Facebook story about the world's oldest, what was he, a tortoise? Who was rescued, and he brought his own population back up because they put him in this rescue, and then he fathered like 3,000 baby turtles or something ridiculous. I'm a little bit off the mark there, but it was something outrageous. And he's like, I don't know, like 125 years old. So there's something here about, yeah, this like really old energy. But when I'm looking at dragon, I'm also seeing crocodile, and oddly enough, I re-looked up Steve Irwin and Terry Irwin's love story, because I remember it from a long time ago, but because I was listening to another love story last night that I do want to talk about later, but not right this second. But both stories include that the moment, they both have photos of the moment that they met, or like caught this, like, yeah, like the meeting, essentially. But Steve Irwin's love of snakes and crocodiles and all the creatures definitely informed me. Like, I love Steve Irwin to this day. But I'm seeing this crocodile energy, which makes me think about how actually crocodiles and alligators are super passionate, super monogs, and they just love their babies like they're great parents. So they get a bad rap. Yeah, I feel like if Steve Irwin were here right now, I'd be calling them all little beauty queens, which they are. He'd have something to say about the starfish. Unfortunately, I don't know much about it. But I do know that when you cut off their limbs, it grows back. A snake sheds its skin. Yeah, there's like a lot of like, I don't know, and stone. Oh, it's, yeah, there's something here about like an ancient energy. Okay, well, let's read for a sec. Where's the book? Oh, I love this. I love this. Okay. Queen. Queen of my heart. Yeah, there's, yeah, like, and with the snake on her hand here. Plus, you see it mirrored in, like, nectar. Like, it's just so steamy. Hello. Boy, oh boy. Grandma. Okay. Yeah. Queen, 83. Maybe some of you are born in 83. Maybe whoever this queen is born in 83. Okay, the Empress, the Mother Queen. Ooh, this is also giving me a little bit like of dominatrix, like Mother Queen. Okay, Mother Queen. Oh, someone's been mad. The Sovereign. Like her counterpart, the King, the Queen has a dualistic nature. Either she presides over the realm with grace and eloquence that comes from the heavens to uplift the spirit of others, or she falls into petty, contemptuous moods, casting a shadow across the land. If the king is the ego, the queen is the expression of that ego in the world. She is the lotus bloom, The dancers, oh, it always trips me up with my my dyslexia. The dancers bow. I always want to say bow, but is it a bow? The dancer's bow or the dancer's bow? I don't fucking know, because I don't know what would pertain. Like, do dancers? Well, I guess dancers do bow, but I could also see them wearing bows. Okay, I digress. Okay, yeah, the dancers bow. The moon's radiant reflection. When the queen is seated in her rightful and righteous place, she is patient and forgiving. She waits for the grace of God and goddess to move through her, striving and grasping for nothing. To be the benevolent leader, to embody the queen, is to settle into deep trust, resolve, and power. The royal queen fears nothing, for divinity itself cradles her heart. Ugh, who can be mad about that? I do love the Mother Queen. You know who's giving me Mother Queen? Yeah, all of this. Mother Queen. And Stormy. Yeah, like there's something very electric. Oh, even when I was saying Aquarius Dragon, but anyone born in the sign of Dragon. Oh, so maybe we have someone born in the year of Dragon, which is 76 or 88. Ooh, yeah, Dragon is big energy. So out of the Chinese zodiac, oh yeah, it is like a storm. Okay. See, I'm born in year of Rooster, so in my triangle of affinity, dragons and I, ooh, it is stormy. I love a dragon. Okay. What does it say on the side? Read Cleopatra's monologue in Shakespeare's Antony and Cleopatra, Act 5, Scene 2. Okay. The queen does not accept the hand of a prince, but claims the throne. Knowing the king draws near, she is a magnet for the fully embodied masculine and entertains nothing less. Yeah, when you've got all this going on, it's true. It's such an ancient energy. I'm actually glad Stone is here because it's grounding the intensity of all this. Same with Snake. I feel like... Oh, and it's interesting because this is very masculine feminine, to be honest. Oh my god! Okay, so... This is all the language I hate, too, of like the divine masculine, divine feminine. Oh, spirit. Driving me nuts. Yeah, this is always referred to a more masculine symbol, the circle being feminine. And then we have a container, foundation for a little babette. It doesn't have to be a real babette, but there is like, but it feels like a real coming together, like a crash, a storm. It's electric. Yeah, this is big energy, guys. Oh, yeah, I'm not in the mood to fight it. We're just gonna read about it. The maiden, yeah, like she's got her hand over her nipple. And then it's just nipples, nipples, rose, rose, buds, hands reaching out, snakes. Oh, it's very sensuous and provocative. And then with a little bit of that dom and energy, yeah, the Mother Queen. Okay. Maiden. 77. That's the year of the snake. So one of you could be born in the year of snake, and one of you is born in the year of dragon. Take it if it resonates. So 77 and 76. Or 88 and 87? Okay. Maiden. What did I say? Oh. What did I say for your page? Where are you? 77. Oh, yeah. Jesus. Jesus, take the wheel. Okay. The virgin, the princess, the innocent. The maiden archetype is the epitome of innocent arousal, naive sensuality, and precarious purity. She is compelling and addictive because of her flawless and youthful glow. She's the first archetype in the trifecta of Maiden Mother Crone, and rightfully so, because she has oh so much to learn. Which is interesting that this young energy is coming through because everything else is like ancient as fuck. Okay. The maiden is perfectly positioned for trouble to come her way and subject her to a challenge that leads to the next phase of womanhood. She must grow up, yet hesitates at the threshold, enamored by the charms of youth. The maiden represents the side of us that is riveted and curious, drawn to shadowy forests, dark nights, and taking just one taste of poisonous fruit. Her magic is edgy and includes both shame and delight. Let yourself fall down the rabbit hole, young one. Okay. Do you long to be rescued by another, or receive a kiss that brings you back to life? Be wary of waiting for a prince. Break the spell of your own life. Moving from the maiden to the mother is challenging, often leaving unresolved tensions between the two archetypes for years, if not a lifetime. I'm going to read the keywords, which I haven't really been doing, but I feel called to. So when light, curious, enchanting, sensual, full of vitality. When dark, pretends, projects, denies, fantasizes. Or is this just all your energy? And this is your phase of life. You're moving. Well, the queen was the first card out. The maiden was second. Okay, well, let's read nectar. But I called it nectar. Nectar. How'd you get tar in your neck? Okay. Spirit, you wanna clarify that? Okay, nectar, let's see. Where are you? This is gonna drive me nuts. Where are you? Oh, there you are. 181. The medicine, the elixir, the garden. In Hindu mythology, there is a miraculous substance known as amrit, or nectar, that contains infinite healing power. This golden nectar, or sacred elixir, is the drink of immortality, and like its sister substance, soma, is known to activate subtle, intelligent forces that ease the mind, body, and spirit. Though esoteric, these images lead us to the central energy of this archetype, the sweet, potent, heavenly essence that lubricates our spirit back to life. The nectar card calls us to identify and relish in places, practices, people, and activities that regenerate and heal. Medicine is needed, and it comes in subtle form that you may be overlooking. Seek the most sensuous, fragrant flower in the garden you have forgotten. Oh boy, my reading right now is terrible. What's happening? Don't underestimate this remedy. It is said when someone has activated the substance within, it is reflected in their shimmering eyes. Sense the nectar within you, dripping from the crown of the head and soothing the brain. Let it drip down the spine like sweet honey. Turning poison into nectar, truth that can often serve as a potent elixir for healing. Oh yeah, there's something about healing the limbs. You cut off. But to be honest though, I think I don't usually say trigger warning, but I'll just add a trigger warning. But I think this is going to be around some sexual trauma and healing and navigating that. And I feel as though you've probably been navigating it for a bit, but there's something in that maiden card. But there is a healing here. And maybe it's just even not so much sexual trauma or healing that's required, but if the energy that you're in is more sexual with little balance of sensual, maybe it's asking you to be more embodied in the sensual, because there's a lot of divine feminine. And when I say divine feminine, I'm not talking about the person, I'm talking about the energy of both masculine and feminine that, to me, co-create the universe, you know? Yeah, because we see the balance of, like, the snake and the stone. And with the the maiden, the hand over the breast, sometimes our healing can come through working with our own bodies to either reestablish what feels good in our body or to just discover new things about our body. Like, self-pleasure is really important, but there is something here about, like, sensual, sexual energy, but, like, we see the healing. Okay, the storm. Okay, holy moly. Okay, no. No. The storm. Where are you? I feel crazy sometimes. Okay, there we go. 157. Possessing an energy much like the tarot's tower card. Yeah, and there's something here about my speech. Like, it's, like, all over the place. This might be around not knowing how to intimate your desires yet. And the great thing, though, is that, like, naturally different people will draw out different desires within us. So sometimes it's not like that we don't know, but there's always room to explore based off of the energy of people. The storm is also called the chaos, the whirlwind, and the disorder. Okay. The storm undoes all of that. Everything that was solid, known, and relied upon is stripped away by the winds of fate. The ground becomes the sky becomes the center, and then the center disappears. The storm is a great equalizer. No matter how far we've come on the path, no matter our age, wealth, or wisdom, we can't hide from its savage winds. Their disturbing howl stirs anxiety and makes it impossible to see and think straight. You must wait it out. If you try to fight the storm, you will lose. Oh. A better option is to seek temporary shelter and a reliable friend. When all else fails, go within. A turtle does. There, for a moment, you settle into the eye of the storm. The storm lays bare the truth that there are forces larger than you. This understanding is a relief, but also a predicament of power that requires your surrender. The storm's intention is to rebalance your equilibrium. Excuse me. It is a result of precarious conditions, not the cause of them. Okay, now the stone is the last card. Get over there. the eternal, the anchor, the rock. But turtle and rock, again, there's something about being in the eye of the storm, but like taking shelter in the center of it. And also because a rock, a stone, is so grounding. As an archetypal object, the stone holds psychic and literal weight. Its energy is one of performance, concreteness, and reliability. The stone's ability to transform is nearly imperceptible to us as it changes ever so slowly over countless human lifespans. A single stone may see thousands of generations come and go. Therefore, it contains an ancient, and eternal presence. The stone is best used to anchor our wild side. Okay, see, going back to the maiden. So no matter how far we roam, we can always find our way back. The stone tethers us to earth, helping to ground and connect us to stillness. And remember, it was so still, quiet, and peace. When this card appears, it is likely the stone is a remedy for what ails us. Humble and easily unnoticed, the power of the stone balances the frenzy of our world. I think, to be honest, guys, I think you're going to be taking a little sexual sabbatical, to be honest. An intentional one. Which in itself is very sexually powerful. Because again, it's about harnessing and directing. And that's also a lot of energy being stored. Now, there's room for all different types of expression, but what I get is I think that you are actually very embodied in your sexuality, but there is something here about sensuous. But yeah, I feel, and you can still be embodied in your sexual prowess and still have some healing to do around sexual trauma. It doesn't have to be also sexual trauma, but I'm seeing different kind of categories and groups for a few folks here. But what I do see, though, for everyone, though, is this redirecting and just being in the stillness. Yeah, I just got so quiet again. And also, we have different needs at different times in our lives. Like, it's true, in your late teens, your 20s, and your 30s, like, for a lot of people, you're getting around town, getting smoochies, and knocking boots. Yeah, but I do think there's, as you get to later stages, and you're in longer-term relationships, sometimes you just need to, again, retract to build. And also because, like, the triangle, which is also like a pyramid, is a point of power. So when you can harness, when you know how to build your energy for one and contain it and harness it, especially with withholding, like, again, either self-pleasure, and this is what I mean. It's like, yeah, when I say, like, not being sexy, I mean, like, you're taking a sabbatical also from yourself. But it does create tension. If you haven't tried it, I highly recommend it. It's very empowering. That's why you see athletes do that. They don't wank, they don't have sex before getting ready for a fight. It makes a lot of sense. It's just a lot of power. And going back to different needs in your life, I'm telling you, there is something to be said for peace of mind. Like, that's just what I don't see in the billionaire club. Like, I may not have a lot of things in some respects, but the things that I do have and carry within myself is like, I have peace of mind. I know who I am, and I also know how to attain peace of mind under the worst circumstances. And that is not easy in this current iteration of life. Oh, so this really is not about a person coming towards you. Well, let's go with the tarot, though. I do want to see, like, this is really... I love this. But, and because you're harnessing this energy, though, like, you're still also, like, you will see people flock to you when you redirect the sexual flow. So again, you're not projecting out and, like, scanning for people, being like, scanning, are there babes in the crowd? Like, are there buns of steel? Yeah, when you take that cone, again, the cone, and you redirect, and then again, you're not even releasing it for self. It's like you're just sitting on the throne of sexual power. That's when the Mother Queen comes out. Oh, yeah. Because it's like, when I think of kind of that dominatrix energy, it's one of being like very controlled, very mindful. Interesting. Okay. Grandmama. Is it the old-timey deck that we want? Who's in here? Which deck do we want to use? Well, actually, let's get out the moon cards. No, I want tarot. Okay, old-timey it is. Okay. And there is something about a storm here, though. So something's getting stirred up because you're in the eye of the storm. And I love how, though, it's like really, it's telling you to just wait it out. So you're kind of freaking out about something a little bit. This card. 7 of Swords to the 3 of Wands. No, I really, Spirit, unless it's like has to be more than one, but like really, I just want one clear card at a time. Okay. So let's up. Okay, that's 2. King of Cups, Knight of Cups. No, please. We're going to focus on the Queen energy. Can I have one card for the Queen? 5 of Cups. To be honest, I feel like what I heard is like also this person's drinking a lot. So maybe something, through a bit of a stormy time for yourself, a way to cope has been to go out a lot, have a lot of fun. I see a lot of drinking. It's not going to be for everyone, but I do see it for a few here. The 2 of Coins. Well, they're having me focus on this boat, on these waves. Now, the 2 of Pentacles is about balancing, but his expression, I don't know. I feel like what I keep hearing is someone's getting their ass tossed. Again, going back to the storm. But the expression on this fellow's face is like, I don't know. And Spirit is like having me look at this little part of the red to this person's. Yeah, it's like I'm sensing that stuff is coming up for you, or has been coming up for you, and everything is indicating like it's a big storm. I just keep hearing like your boat, like you're really getting your ass tossed, and there should be more concern on your face, is really like, because the past energy is like this person's inconsolable. Like you see this hand, and you see the angels. So like we see something in the past happened. You're like not doing well. But I think you started to lean into, yeah, some partying or indulging. A lot of it, to me, and guys, only take it if it's your story. because it really, what I'm seeing and hearing is really, yeah, some substance, and there's no shame here. But I do see a lot of substance use, and with that coming a lot of sexual expression. Nothing wrong with that. But in your case, what I see is it's a coping mechanism, but there seems to be like a consequence or consequences, or like, and the consequences don't have to be severe, but it could just be how you feel internally, you know, where, I don't know. Let's get some more cards here. Okay, let's talk about the maiden energy. Death. Yeah, and see, look, these are the angels fussing on the mouth. And this is like a flower of purity. Yeah, I feel like you're... Okay, again, I feel like I'm really talking to a very specific group. So guys, if this is not your story, just hang out and listen, but like, it's so specific. To be honest, I am hearing sex addiction. I actually had a great friend once that I lived with, and she totally had sex addiction. It was so real for her, and she worked a program of recovery for that. And it was like, she struggled. It was, you know, it was like a compulsion. Like, it wasn't fun for her. And there would always be this kind of mania, in a sense. And she would act from that place. And then she would just come home and just feel really gross about the experience, because she didn't feel like she was actually in control of it. Like, she felt like it was compelled, you know, even though she was taking responsibility. But for her, why it felt kind of not so nice was just that, yeah, it's not like she really chose it from a place of like self-love. Okay, but you are. I'm really hearing the stillness, and she did. She phone, don't die. Can I plug it in? Okay, I'll finish the story and then I'll grab my plug. But yeah, and then she was celibate intentionally for a few years, because she understood that she was acting from a place, you know, of certain things. And so, real talk, like, we talk a lot about energies, but truth is, like, patterns, it's like neural pathways, like, that shit's ingrained. It takes a lot to untangle, and then to practice new things require practice. That's what mastery is. It's just like practicing. Well, I love this though. This is like actually a really positive message, because what I see is like, I feel like the storm has either already happened or is kind of happening right now, but like, what I see is the energy of like that stillness. Okay, the nectar. Yeah, the healing. Yeah, healing the Knight of Wands. Because see, this is past energy, but that's that like sexy, like, look at this guy. He's wearing a bedsheet, for freak's sakes. Yeah. You're learning to ground and temper that energy. And it's not to say that, like, when you're... all things can be healed. Let me just say that. It may not feel like it, but like, all things can be healed. It does require a lot of time and work. That's just the reality of it. But like, anything can be healed. Okay, so let's go to the storm. The Eight of Wands. Well, it's quick moving. Communication. The Five of Swords. To the Ace of Swords. Oh, you learn some painful truth. Oh, is this like, again, around probably someone that you had some sexy business with? Ooh. Perhaps you also got a gift that you didn't want from that person. Okay, well, let's go to the stone. Page of Wands. See, again, it's this more innocent, passionate energy, right? So what you're healing is that Knight of Wands. But this, to me, is actually more tempered and grounded. And see, we see the bunnies, you know, like wanting to do it like bunny rabbits. But that's the energy you're grounding. And it's coming more from a younger, more pure place. Like, the Knight of Wands is a player. for the most part. Like, depending on the other cards and like what you're talking about, sometimes the Knight of Wands isn't a big deal. But, sorry guys, it's still that spider bite in the back of my ear. Can't be mad at it. I probably accidentally rolled on it and squished it, but... Okay. Interesting. Interesting. I did not see this reading coming. Yeah, the Hierophant. Like, there is a sacredness to every energy in life. Again, it's always about intention. How do you want to approach and use things? So I feel like by taking a pause, an intentional one, and again, resetting, because your body resets, like, and also like sensitivity. So I feel like there's this like really intentional reset and exploring. Again, you get to set the parameters. Like, what do you want your desires to look like, and to go through them, and this is also a great opportunity to like work with a sex therapist or someone who's trauma informed too. But that's also like queer positive, kink positive. Like, there's lots of stuff. You want to find the right person, because I do feel like there are some kinks here. And if you're new to the channel, like, it's very inclusive. So kink to me is like not a big deal, as long as it's consensual, you know? That's like the big thing here. No matter what your thing is, it's always about consensual and like appropriate. Is there anything else you want to say, Grandmama? Wow. 4 cards. I'll take it. 9 of Coins. See, single. You're going to be intentionally single, intentionally celibate. You're going to be focused on yourself. You're going to be rediscovering who you are, who you want to be, what you want, from your desires and your sexual relationships. And I definitely see healing, and it's just so interesting because it's like, who's facing you is this King of Swords. But going back to that grounding energy, I feel like you're about to meet someone who's emotionally going to fulfill you in this way. But what's so interesting is because I think you've been doing this work for a bit. For some of you, this might be coming up, and this is going to, like, the timelines could be really anywhere. But for a lot of you, I feel like you've actually been working on this for a bit. And you're in your stride, where you're understanding things, you're healing things. Yeah, you're co-creating with, like, and just getting curious about, your desires. What does that look like for you? What could it look like for you? What are things that you would like to explore or not explore? What are things that in the past worked or didn't work? Like, I don't know. There's something here. And because you're focused on yourself, you don't see this little King of Swords. Look at this beauty queen. Look, he's so soft. This is that soft King of Swords. He's got, I don't know, some kind of snow globe in his hand. Yeah, like a little treasure for you. Sword out, but happy times. But see, this is the Ace of Wands. But look, it's an angel with the flower of purity. Where do we see that other flower? Oh yeah, like the death. So it's like you get, I don't want to say born again, but there is something in your healing where I feel like it's a fresh slate. Whatever this storm is, regenerating and healing, but also storms there's something with the ions, the negative and the positive, and creating a charge, creating some passion. Well, who's going to be mad at that? No one. Page of Cups. See, it's sweet. It's not coming on the coattails of the Knight of Wands, which is just like kind of misdirected passion, and it's like not there to stay long. But this is really like intentionally like very pure and sweet, and just being like, I really like you. And I don't know, this is beautiful. Because all of this reading is about your own empowerment, this feminine energy, and very embodied. And there is something here about like sacred, old, ancient energy. Okay, well, I'm going to leave it there. Always a slice. Wow, I didn't see that reading coming. Sometimes I never do, but wow. Okay. All right, gang. Well, stay blessed, stay golden.